welcome to the Cutie Art Crusaders, episode 126 for Tuesday, December the 9th, 2014. My name is Rainbow Plasma, I'm this week's editor and the host of this podcast, and today I'm joined by...
Burn to One, the special guest coordinator of the podcast.
I'm FlutterGuy317, I'm the media manager of the podcast.
And I'm Admiral Spark, I'm the... what do I do? Questions. And even art, and soon probably pulling cupcake out of oven guy.
Yay, cupcakes. Are you making us cupcakes?
I'm
Dude,
not.
send me some cupcakes.
There it is.
Oh god,
You actually have to go pull those cupcakes out of the oven.
Well, I thought he was lying, but he wasn't lying, so...
I didn't
You have to
expect
give
that
him
at all.
credit.
No.
He was completely truthful.
Yeah. That wasn't
Okay.
even in our talking points. Like, I'm so...
Did you bring enough for the class?
You guys remember that? Did you guys ever do that? It was your birthday, your mum would like give you a cake or something to take to school for the class.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah,
cupcakes.
I remember that.
Yes.
It was cool.
Yeah, sometimes it'd be a cake, sometimes it'd be a cupcake. Well, it would always be really cool, because like, whenever anyone else had a birthday, you'd get cake.
Yeah, that's right. And what is it? You need there's something like 26 people in a room for someone to share birthday, so it's going to be birthday like all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, the thing is, too, like, when it came to, like, being your birthday, it would always be like, oh, crap, we're going to have to make so many cupcakes. There'd be so many. I also hated, like, I made that joke, like, did you bring enough for the class? I think that's, like, the dumbest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they would always say that, like, when you have candy and you're not supposed to in class, which, like, wow, way to be, like, super critical of kids. Not allowed to eat. You only eat at designated eating times. Anyways.
Is right now a designated eating time? Can I
Anyways, speaking of children, Joel, you had a story.
A what?
You had a story, didn't you?
Not about children.
Why did you write it? Okay.
I have a story, but not about children.
Okay, go ahead.
Cool.
I went to a convention on the weekend, which is why I wasn't here last week.
Cool.
That's cool.
I didn't know about this. You haven't told any of this.
Yeah.
What is it?
I thought
Supernova.
no,
What
but
is that?
we told you that's why we weren't going to be here. Anyway, Supernova. It's
Well, no, we knew that, but we didn't know anything about like the con.
okay. It's Supernova. It's like a what would they call it? They called it a pop culture exhibition. So like
What?
a pop culture exhibition. So it's like video, TV, games, all that sort of stuff. Not just one thing. It's if you like something in pop culture, you can go there and find other people who like these things and stuff.
I mean, we've come a long way if games are considered pop culture now.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like there's
It's
cosplay and there's ponies and there's stuff.
Yeah, I know what you mean because there was something before I moved out of Toronto. There was something that happens every single year. It's called Fan Expo, and it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
They've got like 4 sections. Like one of the sections is gaming, one of the sections is like comic book. It's basically like Nerd Con.
Yeah, it's pretty much
but-
what it is. There's no designated sections or anything, but that's what it is. It's a nerdcon.
But like Supernova is a pretty big and popular con, right?
Yeah, I think the one in Brisbane's one of the biggest ones, I think.
Cool.
So you went to Aussie NerdCon 2014, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Hang out with those going.
First you went to Salvage Con, then you went to Aussie Nerd Con.
Yeah. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds fantastic. Did you get a
What'd you
shirt?
do? What'd you see? What'd you get?
Did we get anything? We got a couple of things. Silver found a little tiny rarity. I got... What else did he get? Oh, I got the Lego 80s Spaceman Lego spaceship. Yeah.
There's a lot of Lego and a lot of space in that sentence.
The 1980 something space guy from the Lego movie. I got a spaceship. The kit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And
I never watched Lego movies, so.
Yeah. We gave Naza Goring some stuff because she made me a plushie.
Yay.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Silver sent me a selfie with Nazagori.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
We need to get her on the
I'm
podcast.
jelly.
Got to
Jelly.
see her again.
We should get her on the podcast.
Yeah, we should.
She'd be
And then
happy
we
to.
should have her make us plushies for monies.
We can blackmail her into giving us plushies. Genius. And the best part about it is that no one will know.
She was carrying around one of her Cadence plushies, and it is huge.
God, I want one of her plushies so badly, but I also don't have the money to do that.
Which is
We
why
accept
we
donations here at the Cutie Art Crusaders, specifically in
Plushie
plushies specifically.
donations. I'm pretty sure that's no.
No.
Veto. Veto that. But yeah, no, I mean Naz, if you want to come on the show, then Bug Burned. He's our special guest coordinator. It's his fault.
I'll just bug me and I'll bug Bernd. I'm happy to do it.
No,
It's
you
true.
won't. You'll forget.
No, I won't. I'm
No.
If it causes Bernd annoyance, then I'm happy
Great
to do it.
pain. Okay. I can get behind this. I
I don't know how I feel about this. I don't think I like it at all.
All right, so what's... All of the talking points this week confused me because I have no idea what the heck you guys are talking
I
about.
don't know
So
what
we have
the other one is.
Supernova. Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm not confused, but what the heck is this?
So I started watching Avatar: The Last Airbender this past week.
What? Okay. No, keep going.
No, that's the third talking point.
Because a certain Rainbow Plasma suggested that I watch it because he's been enamored with it ever since like watching it 3 months ago.
Like 1 month ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been watching it, and this picture by Late Customer kind of sums up exactly what I was going through when I was watching it because it's
Do
amazing.
you know the story behind this picture?
I don't, but I know it involves you, and because
So-
of the cookie dough ice cream.
I was sitting on Late Customer, aka Dave's stream, and I was gushing about Avatar, and I said I feel goofy because, people think that I eat cookie dough ice cream like I'm sitting in front of rom-coms, like crying my eyes out and eating cookie dough ice cream, and then I joked and I said, I sit in front of rom-coms and I cry, I just don't eat cookie dough ice cream.
Do you dress
And
up like
so
Sunset Shimmer?
we got on this like tangent about like the fact that like I was watching like Avatar and I was getting like really really emotional and I'm secretly a teenage girl inside. And it led to this picture.
So you're secretly Sunset Shimmer inside.
Right. So it's funny that you related to your Avatar watching experience with this picture because this picture came about because I talked about my Avatar watching experience.
Actually,
We've come full circle.
I only just wanted to feature this picture. The whole Avatar, like bring Avatar up, was just kind of to get this picture in.
It was just for me. I know it. Just you can admit it.
It's true. Also, Sunset Shimmer is adorable.
She is.
You're a bit obsessed.
I
I
am a
want
bit
to
obsessed.
feature pictures.
Well, guess what, Bernd? Oh, shockaroo.
We're an art show.
I mean, is he on camera? Because we've got a big surprise. You're actually surprised you're on an art show.
Well, here.
Hey!
What about that art? Can we talk about that?
Yeah, we could talk about that.
Yes, we should
Wanna
talk about that.
I guess I should
because
talk
it's
about that as
awesome.
my birthday
You
present.
should.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so last week was my birthday, and we mentioned that, and I got so many wonderful birthday presents from people. Well, okay, I got a couple of birthday presents, but I got many, many like happy birthdays on my DeviantArt page, and people sent me notes, and people hit me up on Skype, and that was really, really awesome. And 2 people, or 3 people rather, made me art, but I will feature 2 of them on the podcast. The first one is Otaku AP's RP Mecha. So Otaku AP makes a kind of like series of birthday pieces for each one of us 4, and he has a theme every single year. And it started with me back 2 years ago, and so now I guess he switched to his new theme, which is like mechanical like Gundam things in space.
Gundam ponies.
And it's super, super awesome. I love it so much. And I know that the rest of you guys on the podcast are sitting here being like, "Oh, I can't wait for my mech," because we've come to like learn that he does these in like sets of 4. Yeah,
Bird, you're
it's-
gonna be
it's-
the
it's super awesome.
smallest mecha ever.
Cool. I just picture me. Have you guys ever seen a Gurren Lagann?
No.
No,
I've-
in Gurren Lagann, there's like this little mecha, but it's basically just the head of a mecha, like this little tiny thing that like you sit on top of. You look like one of the evil villains from like Super Mario, you know what I mean? Like just sitting in
right.
the little floating shell, like or cloud or whatever. Basically looks like that. I just picture that being my mecha.
So it was super cool. It's now my icon on Skype. So that's how much I love it. I think it's really awesome. Also, lesser known people, because we talk about Otaku AP like every single episode. Shaman Guli is another artist who sent me a birthday piece.
Shaman
And
Guli.
it was really awesome, and I had never heard of this artist before. And so thank you very much for sending me this art piece, because it means that I got to watch you, and now I can see your art.
Oh,
and,
man, that's really pretty.
Add you to the collection
It
of
is.
Eastern European guys who watch our show.
Hey.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We're
shout out
begging
very
you.
much for that. Of course, thank you very much to everybody who sent me like notes on DeviantArt or a little like happy birthday to my DeviantArt page, or the people who hit me up on Skype. Like it's really awesome to see that. So thank you very much.
I'm gonna favorite that.
Anyways, speaking of art, right? Art show.
Yeah.
I think at some point we should become one I was thinking about it, it might be a big shift from like what we normally do, but I was thinking what we could do is we could pick 4 art pieces and then talk about it for the next hour.
Like 4 pony art pieces?
I know it sounds weird. It's completely different from what we normally do.
I don't know if that'll work. That's a bit of a weird concept.
You want to try? Do you want to try it with me? You want to try it with me?
All right, I'm going outside my comfort zone here, but
all right, let's miraculously in the next 3 seconds, everybody sync up and pick an art piece. All right, ready, set, done.
Got mine.
We all good? Great. All right, fantastic. Ted, start.
This is my art piece that I chose for this episode. It's called Nightwork by Yakovlav Vad, who I absolutely adore because he does this kind of hyper-realistic style, and I like it. Then again, I also like painterly styles and watercolors and just like a bunch of art.
You like things that look 3D, just admit it.
It's true. But this is one of his more recent pieces, and it's featuring Twilight in the morning.
Yeah, I really love the pose in this piece. I think that sometimes something that goes kind of lesser noticed, and especially by us, is kind of the body positions and I guess anatomy in that regard from ponies. And I really enjoy seeing this almost human-esque pose from Twilight because I don't know, it's super relatable and it's also super adorable.
Mm-hmm. It looks like she just woke up and like on a not really a cold day, but just like a fall day maybe, and like drinking some tea, eating
reading
some
newspaper
cookies.
scrolls.
Yeah, getting ready for the day.
Yeah. Like how there's that little like anti-mosquito burner thing.
Yeah. I saw that. That was a bit strange. It doesn't work though. There's a fluffy parasprite there.
Yeah.
Yeah, parasprites aren't mosquitoes,
But
they're worse.
but I figured it'd make the bugs go away, and I would class the thing as a bug. Also,
That's
there
a
are
good
butterflies.
point.
Is it a
Like,
bug though?
is a parasprite a bug?
Or the equivalent of the mosquito in the pony world.
Yeah, because it eats
maybe.
everything and it's annoying.
Maybe.
Serves no purpose in the
Yeah.
food chain.
It's like, I'm missing a chunk in my arm.
You don't-
Must be parasprites.
you never
Fluttershy,
know.
what purpose do parasprites serve within the food chain? Anything? Just
They're really cute.
They're really
Okay, well, thanks, Fluttershy.
head for that.
Great.
It's fluffy though. Look at it.
I kind of like hope that they bring back parasprites at some point and like actually show that they are a key part of the ecosystem or something like that. Would be kind of
Nah, just put them into the town over.
Also, Joel, technically mosquitoes are fluffy too. There was mosquitoes in Alaska I could actually pet. They were big enough.
Oh, that's
Well, that settles it
that
then.
makes me so
Parasprites are mosquitoes.
uncomfortable.
Also mozzies.
So, anyways, about the art piece,
Mhm.
right? It's good. I like it. Anybody else have anything to say about it?
I like. Okay, go ahead, Bernd.
It's extremely detailed, is what I was gonna say.
Yeah, boy.
All the features on every little thing. Like I think we've commented on how Yakovad uses basically magical, mystical Photoshop magic to make trees, basically, and all the leaves on trees, and uses techniques that have been basically really unique to his art style to make a kind of very realistic looking trees with like Photoshop brushes and stuff. But every other detail, like the paper, like there's texture on the paper, there's wood grain, the books, like the bindings have texture. Like Twilight's feathers are another thing that really caught my eye. And then obviously with how Yakovad does hair as well, and like shows all as many strands as he like feasibly can, with even like the chair, like everything has like this huge intimate amount of detail. It's ridiculous.
On the
Yeah,
paper.
and I mean, look at her chest fluff. Like she's got little. If you zoom in, you can see that her chest is a little bit like fluffy.
Yeah.
I was going to say on the paper. If you look at it in the full view, you can almost see the writing through the parchment,
Yeah.
which is a cool touch.
That's a pretty cute touch, yeah.
Yeah. I like how Yakovlev has kind of progressed. And I think that this is probably one of his best pieces as of recent, because he does like these super hyper realistic. Like we've featured Rainbow Dash on a next to a motorcycle scooter thingy, which was a lot crisper and like less realistic and more hyper realistic, if that makes any sense. But I feel like this kind of blends in a little bit closer to reality.
Right. Yeah. I think yeah, I definitely agree that there was sometimes where I would look at his pieces and it'd be really well done, but it was definitely out there. And he seems to be moving closer and closer towards this seamless merging between his characters and his environment. And I think that just comes from the experience of making the characters, because he's always been spectacular at making the environments.
Yeah. I mean, look at that background, the colors. I like them.
Well, and the thing is too, like, he understands that in this piece, like, the background should be blurred out, depth of focus. And I just think it's very impressive that he would look at something like his background that I'm sure he spent a lot of time in, and then he would just blur it.
Yeah.
And like the level of detail that went into that, and then as you get closer, less and less blur. I really like that cut between, if you take a look at the wooden railing along like the bottom edge of the piece, you can see the trees behind. There's like a hard cut between the railing, which is in focus, and then even those first set of leaves that is slightly out of focus. It really gives you a hard cut, and it gives you that separation between the foreground and the background.
Another really, really nice touch that I'd like to point out is, as I was kind of looking at the image as I zoomed in, there's actually like ambient dust, I guess, all around the image. There's a lot of it kind of floating behind Twilight, and then a little bit underneath the lamp that's really visible. And it's just kind of, to me, it looks just like that ambient dust that you have in like a room, you know what I mean? Like when a sunbeam shines through your window and you can see like those particles of dust floating around. But there's kind of like, there's a lot of it kind of behind Twilight and near her hair and like the back of her blanket and over her chair and stuff.
Also, it looks like her hair is kind of wet, so maybe she just came out of a shower in the morning or something like that, because you can see some like steam rising off of her a little bit at the
And
very
as
top.
well, if you look by her eye, there's something kind of in her hair. I'm not sure if that's dust but I think you're right. It does look a little bit wet.
Yeah.
She does look a bit damp. She is a damp horse.
Maybe she just has like a plaid towel.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Twilight being all practical with plaid. Yeah. Something else that I really like that Yakovlev does is he does framing very well in these kind of pieces, especially like with the background. You can see it kind of encompasses Twilight, just kind of encircles her. Kind of gives it a really nice enclosed feeling.
Yeah. Also, detail in horn. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a huge fan of like the big 3D stuff. I love this. This is great. But when something looks like a 3D animated model that's made in like, I don't know, Blender or something, I'm not a huge fan. But I love the depth that those kind of like the grooves that in the horn kind of have. Like we never really think about it, but adding that 3D element to the horn is really, really cool, because all we see in the show is we see these lines, and you got to think like, what do those lines mean? Well, it most likely means that there's these grooves in the horn, and it just looks so good in this piece.
Yeah.
In the show, they're like implied grooves, so a lot of artists really like to like explicitly draw them.
I like how people interpret that. Some people like this will do the grooves. Other people do, like if you've played with Play-Doh, like you roll up a Play-Doh snake and you make a horn out of that. It's like it's thick and gets thinner towards where the grooves would be. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, and some people just have it as like markings.
Yeah.
On the horn as well.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I like his style, and this piece in particular really caught my eye. And I don't know. It's different. It's kind of unique. There's a couple of people that do the stuff that's similar to him, like Pony X, but I don't know. It's cool. He's good at it. I like it.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's highly detailed, and like every aspect of it is also done extremely well. Like even the colors,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Great job, Yakovlev. Ved. I still can't say your name.
Yaakov.
Yakovlev.
Yako?
All right.
Warner?
Let's move on to the next piece, shall we?
Which is mine. It's called Postcard by Chao Kami. Or Chio Kami. Another Russian.
Yeah.
So many Russians.
I know.
I think it's really cool. Side note, completely side note. I think it's really cool how widespread MLP love was. You know, like it wasn't just like some sort of like, you know, sometimes you hear about trends and it's like, oh, Japan, you know, it wasn't just like, oh, North America and their crazy love of ponies. Like it really, like it spread to like, you know, all of Europe and Russia and a lot of Asia and all of these different fantastic places, obviously Australia. And it's really spread worldwide, which was really cool.
Another cool thing is that at BronyCon and other conventions, the Russian Bronies like group has a representation there of like a couple of artists bring a bunch of art from a ton of artists in Russia, because obviously it's quite a trek to come out. So it's cool to see the representation there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the
anyways,
guy from Romantically Apocalyptic, I'm trying to type that in, forget his name, is usually there.
Yeah.
And he's like brings in all the work and stuff.
Yeah. So sorry,
So-
Joel. Go ahead.
No, it's cool.
yeah, I was gonna
Keep
say,
talking.
Joel, what do you like about this piece?
Obviously, the first thing, colors. Very bright, very in your face, very not what you'd expect from a Luna piece. Like the whites,
right.
the golds, and the really bright sort of navy blues.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And
I was a bit confused at first when you said that, because I was like, well, it's Luna, it's dark, but you know, especially like the lights in her hair are super light, you know, and then you've got that huge moon in the background. I'm assuming it's a moon. You got the huge moon in the background, which is
That's no
just
moon.
you know, like a third of the entire piece. That's just bright colors, and so yeah, it is. You know, I wouldn't have categorized it off the bat because it's a night piece, but you're absolutely right.
it's a bright night piece. And everything is all sketchy. There's lines going absolutely everywhere, and nothing smooth, and it's all pretty great.
It's very flowy.
I think my favorite thing about it is those kind of crazy lines and crazy outlines, just because like they feel so free. And actually, Mahauer just mentioned to me, if you guys remember, Mahauer was on the show.
No,
watching
you've
this.
never mentioned him before.
Shut up, Joel.
I'd like to meet him though at some day.
Anyway, he was mentioning this piece to me because it reminded him of one of his favorite artists, Sarah Richards, who does the comic book covers for a lot of the My Little Pony micro series. And she's like a professional freelance artist, and she's also really known for kind of these free lines on her things. And we were kind of discussing how this almost looks inspired by that. But yeah, like I agree with you, Joel. It's really, really pretty, and the colors are awesome, and it's kind of like those lines over the top of the illustration underneath kind of give it another extra level of like visual interest that I think I really, really enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, this
once
one's just
again-
very striking.
Yeah. Once again, I like how it's framed. It's very minimal framed, but you can see there's kind of an outline. It almost looks like it's traditionally done on like a piece of paper or a plank of paneling, because there is like this frame around it.
Yeah, I had to check.
Yeah, there's a very
That's-
slight, almost like vignette-esque thing.
Yeah, it almost
Yeah.
does look traditional with the way that they have done the border of this.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm not sure. Like, there are certain signs about it that make me think, oh, okay, the color's put on top of the beige background with this border, and then I go, well, I don't know. It looks like the beige almost overlaps, like a vignette, you know, like something that's put on top of the piece.
Yeah.
The
Which
I
title,
don't think it's. That's awkward.
Wow, we all talked.
I'm gonna go first because no one else did.
Okay.
I think it's really cool also that this is like the only time that I've really seen someone depict an adult Luna and a kid Celestia.
Yeah.
I don't know the story behind it. I don't really know what the whole idea is, but it's really interesting because we never really get to see that because, you know, Luna is always the younger sister. She's always like the one that's being taken care of. Or if Celestia's little, then usually Luna's little too. It's cool.
Yeah.
the
It's kind of
blanket she's covering Celestia up with too is transitions from night to day too.
It's also
Kind of
translucent.
looks like Trixie's cape.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say that. So this is where Trixie's hat came from.
I kind of like the scenery in this piece because it's kind of minimal, in that like you have Canterlot behind the ponies and you have like a rolling hill, but there's not really that much detail in it. Really all the detail and the sparkle and lighting and stuff is put into the characters. But
Yeah.
I don't know, it's interesting. I like it.
It's weird because it's like, when I see Canada in the background, I wonder like what time period. Like I first we get the conflicting message of like adult Luna and child Celestia, and then we have like Canada in the background. So it's like, when was this actually taking place? Because weren't they adults when they overthrew Discord? Like, there's all of these like crazy details. It's kind of like a juxtaposition of a bunch of different scenes put together. Like it's almost like the background took place at a different time, or like they're in some sort of weird time shift. I don't know.
I like to go with the time shift thing.
There was an unfortunate accident with time spells.
We'll create our own story.
Some sort of clever thing about that movie Interstellar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's too much gravity
Something
on this planet.
else that's really, I guess, visually grabbing for me. I don't really have another word. Visually appealing, I guess. Visually striking. I think you used that term when we first started talking about this, Joel, or at No Spark. Is Luna's hair. It looks, I don't know, it's like, it jumps out at me the most, kind of out of all the other features or colors, because of the two colors that kind of contrast against themselves. So you've got like the blue of her hair, it's like a really deep, rich blue, and then the kind of like bright yellow, like accents around it. So it's not like normal Luna's hair that we think of when we see that. It's, I don't know, it's different. It's like complementing colors.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's hard to say that it's like blorange because it's not really orange. It's more of like a peach. So I guess that makes this bleach.
Peach is a kind of orange. Like it's somewhere on the in between of yellow and red spectrum. There's like pinks and yellows in there. But point being, it's like it's a really bright contrast to the blue. And I got another theory for you here. Even though it looks exactly like Luna, the description's written in Russian, so I'm not sure what it actually is, but it could totally be the Celestia and Luna's mother, and then only Celestia is born yet, since Luna's the younger sister.
They didn't show her mother, did they?
No.
Is all the mother-father thing just fan stuff?
Yeah, it's kind of generally believed that Fausticorn was there, but,
that's fanon.
Fanon.
Yeah, so genuinely believed. There's only Celestia and Luna, and that's all we know.
Yeah. That is true.
Okay, so I put it through a translator, and my goodness.
Good luck.
So I'm going to read it just word for word what I got the translator. Please don't take this to mean what the artist actually meant. It says, from the news, I've vaguely saw, XD, that my dear someone, Mariusa, draws. I also decided to draw Mariusiu. As always, the style remains a mystery even to me. The emoticon may be similar to this. So that doesn't really, I mean,
yeah.
I whatever this Marusiu is, I don't know.
Well, there's
maybe it's the
DA
character.
link in there. Well, there's a DA's deviant account link in there. Maybe it's her friend draws.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Something.
Maybe.
Maybe it's an OC that looks a lot like Luna.
Regardless, I'm really glad you picked this piece, Joel, because I think it's really, really pretty.
Yes.
Translation: he's jealous because you picked it.
Yes.
It was on my list of stuff to feature. I was still gonna feature another piece, but it was definitely one that I was like, I want to feature this. So I'm glad you did.
Our art preferences are starting to align. Because
true.
I'll find that occasionally. I was going through my art to feature this week, and I realized that Ted had picked one that was in my list, so I have to remove that. And I remember 2 weeks ago we featured this. I'm like, oh yeah, we featured that. And it's like, wow, we're really chewing through these.
Yeah. Yeah. Vern, you mentioned the complementing, well, not really complementing, but the different colors used in the main, and I really like how the peachish yellow really makes the blue pop. Out, and I feel like that's something that's difficult to do, especially in this kind of setting and with this kind of lighting, because blue, like Luna, I kind of get the feeling that it would tend to kind of blend in with the background or kind of recede a bit, but just like the fact that the bright colors are kind of at the outskirts of her tail kind of make her inner tail look like blobby almost and pop out.
And that's why colors are really, really cool, because like the colors around her hair do make it like pop forward, but then the colors everywhere else in like the background, they're different like qualities of color, and they feel like they recede behind everything because they're a little bit more desaturated and a little bit darker, and they have lower like lightness, I guess is the correct term, and so they feel like they fall behind the characters. But because the Luna and Celestia and like the blanket are so brightly colored, such a bright hue, they pop forward and they feel like they're in the foreground, you know?
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
It's a very awesome color theory piece.
Let us move on to the next one.
Hooray. I think that's my cue.
Yes.
Yep.
So, because I was looking at this piece and Mahara and I were talking about it, I started looking through this artist gallery again. I've been watching this artist for a while, but I hadn't been kind of watching some of the more recent stuff that the artist has been posting. And like there's this big string of pony stuff. There's like 7 pieces of just like awesome pony artwork. And this was another one that was in there, and it's called Commission Silent Night by Chiyokami again. And this is actually a traditional piece. It's done with acrylics on canvas. And when I heard that, like, I just thought that was absolutely fantastic, because I really, really love traditional art. I'm a sucker for painting. And then when I see this and like all the detail done with basically done with paint, like it's just awesome. And again, like there's a lot of things that really capture me about it. It's the same kind of stuff with like the blue in the hair, but this time instead of all like the lines on it, it's just basically how flowy it is and curly. It's almost like expressionistic is a word I like to use. It's just like going everywhere basically. And then the scene is like Luna on a log over water, and then there's that whatever reflection something
Ripple?
Geometry. What's that fancy word for something geometry, like when a mirror reflection, you know what I'm talking about?
Nope, not a single clue what you're talking about.
No, not refraction.
The symmetry of a reflection in a mirror has a specific name. I just don't remember what that's called.
Well, it's the symmetry of a reflection in a mirror.
Regardless, we have Luna looking in the water, and we see a different angle of Luna's face because of the reflection we see underneath.
Yeah,
I think it's just
it's really
mirror
cool.
symmetry, honestly.
Yeah. I like how in this piece in particular, there's a lot of sharpness and cleanness that I find to the style. So like the hair looks very sharp, almost like it's made out of metal, and like the wings have like this sharpness to it, and there's these like very well defined, like lines on the body. And I don't know why, but I really, really like that look. People will have noticed that recently I started talking about the fact that I really loved a style that Assassin Monkey was putting out. And that style, you'll also notice, is the same kind of thing. It's very geometric. It's got very well-defined lines, and it looks almost like sleek, like metallic, futuristic robot-y almost. And I get kind of a little bit of that feeling here where, there's very defined lines in the wings and in the hair that kind of almost make it feel like it's like a piece of metal, like it's solid in place.
Well, and there's really nice tight lighting too. So like if you look at Luna's left rear leg, like there's just a line of lighting and stuff, and I think that kind of adds to that feeling as well.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing that I wanted to mention that I just noticed here was something really cool, because it's a traditional piece, and you can see it if you zoom in close enough. You can see it's actually done on some sort of canvas. You'll see that where the back hoof touches the water, there's those rings that go out, the ripples in the water. Now, I want everyone to take a second here and realize that those ripples are made in traditional too, right? Like, we're almost conditioned nowadays to look at that and go, oh, that's an interesting effect. But, like, that's pretty easy to do in, like, Photoshop. You know what's not? You know where it's not easy to do? In traditional? Like, it really is when you take a look at the way that the ripples cut through the reflection, especially that last big ripple that cuts through, like, part of Luna's ear and the reflection and the hair. That is so cool that they were able to do that kind of manipulation, that kind of color manipulation and like shape manipulation in a traditional piece.
Burn,
Same with
I have
the,
a question. Go ahead.
Same
Go.
with the moon, not exactly under the ripple, but next to that lily there. Or flower or whatever it is.
Yeah, like a lot of the edges of the moon have that kind of like cut effect, you know, where the reflection's not perfect because the water's not perfectly still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bernd, I have a question for you. What would you say that the main focus is in this piece? Because I'm tempted to say that it's not Luna, but it's where Luna's hoof touches the water. And Luna kind of frames that, because my eye is instantly drawn to the flower and her hoof touching the water, and not to her.
Me too.
Would that be correct?
Like, this piece was actually really odd because I didn't feel like there was a specific focus. Like, there's obviously has to be, but I feel like that assumption would be fine. Because there's a lot of things that kind of draw to where her hoof touches the water, and I think the point of that is to make us look at the reflection, because there's almost more going on in the reflection than there actually is in the rest of the piece. Because there's obviously like a lot of detail in her hair and like wing, but like the actual subject of what's going on is basically given by like the reflection, right? So Luna looking at herself and we can see her face, and then like the moon, which gives us the scene, so it's obviously at night, and Luna and her relation to the moon and stuff like that. So there's kind of like this, I don't know, kind of like dual scene going on. But everything is basically like her hair and everything in the scene is kind of wrapping around her reflection in the water, so it's kind of like framing it. So I could totally see that being kind of the centralized point of where you should look. But it does something interesting visually in that normally when we think of the subject we look at, it's something that's in the foreground, where Luna, her hair, and her are actually, she's around the image of where we normally look. Does that make sense, or am I getting a little confusing there?
No, that makes sense. It was interesting to me because in this piece, like, my eye isn't drawn to the character. My eye is drawn to the water and like a part of the character, but not like the face or whatever like you would normally see in a piece. And it was just interesting because I haven't seen much art that does that, where it just kind of says, no, don't look at the character, look at this, and then you can look at the reflection of the character from there.
She's done that pretty cleverly too, because the face, normally the eyes normally stand out a lot in pony drawings because they're just huge and they're bright, brilliant white and bright colours. But she's managed to, female by the way, she's managed to blend that eye in so that it doesn't do that. And also she's used that wing to cover up the jet black cutie mark, which would also be a huge thing to draw your eyes to. But she's covered that up mostly with the wing, and so now when you look at this, you instantly look at that flower and the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also interesting that you mentioned the eye, because if you look at her wing and her hair, there's kind of this streak of lighting that kind of cuts through the wing, her eye, and her hair. So it kind of almost blends the white of her eye into that. So it kind of, again, puts the focus elsewhere. Interesting.
I think one of the cool things is, you know, you were mentioning that your eye automatically goes down, and you were asking what the point, like what the focal point of this piece was. And I think the cool thing about it, to me, the way that I interpret it, is that there isn't a focal point. There's kind of like a focal circle. So it starts at the hoof, right? You start looking at the piece, it starts at the hoof, and my eyes trail up her leg, around her curved wing, past her face, past her hair, and then the connection is made between the hair and the hoof with that reflection, the face and the reflection. So it's almost like this circular focus where you either go, some people might go clockwise, I go counterclockwise here, where it starts somewhere and then you're drawn around the piece, and that kind of creates that circle in the middle of the piece, which then you're drawn into.
Because, like, what you bring up an interesting point, because, like, not all art pieces have to have a central focus. Like, some art pieces have, we know it's more broad than that, where there's kind of like an area that the artist wants you to kind of focus on. And what I think is extremely awesome about this piece, and like I kind of didn't really notice it, like it messed with me visually, but I didn't really notice it now until we started talking about it, is that what the artist has kind of done is she's basically made the area that I feel like I focus on most is kind of like the negative space that isn't what's above the water, if that makes sense. So negative space meaning something around this a subject or like something in the image. So like if Luna and her hair is kind of like what is above the water and what is like an actual object, the space in between like her legs and in between her hair, you could consider negative space, and then all the stuff there in between it is kind of what I look at, and like the reflection and her and all that. And it seems like the purpose of the artwork, I guess, or the I don't know, wrong term, but
Well, it's almost conflicting in a way, because the focal point, the middle of that circle I was talking about, is like her hoof in a branch, and it's not terribly exciting, and so your eye kind of flitters between 3 different or 4 different points where you got like, oh, there's the hoof, and there's her reflection, and there's her face. It's almost like my eyes it sees the circular composition, and it tries to hone in on that hoof, but then I keep getting distracted by all of the different interesting things around it.
Yeah, like when I first looked at this piece, the first thing I noticed was Luna and like her wing and her hair and her eye, and I actually didn't even notice her own reflection and kind of the stuff in the water. I didn't even know what that big orange spot was. I didn't even really associate it with the moon. I just kind of saw her in the flower and didn't really see the stuff in the background. But now that like I see it and I realize it, now it feels like this more of the subject, and I see less of everything above the water. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
it's an
Extremely
awesome art
pretty.
piece.
Shows you that
Pretty.
if you look deeper into art, you can kind of see more to it than just what meets the eye.
Another small thing is
Really
that
graceful there.
Luna and the log and stuff, they're kind of like a brighter, more warm. They're kind of like more warmly lit, and then things below them, like the shadow and the water, are kind of a bit cooler. So like that whole warm light casts cool shadows, and they kind of conflict like that as well.
Yeah. Cool.
Bah.
Yeah.
2 awesome pieces by Chiyokami.
Yeah,
Which is
this
great.
artist has some of my favorite artworks in her gallery. There's another Luna piece we featured forever ago that's also my favorite.
Cool.
It's fabulous.
Definitely go
All right.
check them out.
So, the final piece for today, which is my piece, which is actually a rather quick one, so it shouldn't take too long, but it's called MLPR Day Starlight by Aqua Galaxy. No, I don't know what that name means. And it's this really cool OC piece that Aqua Galaxy made, I think for some sort of, she was doing some sort of raffle, I think.
Yeah,
Which-
so My Little
and-
Pony raffle Day Starlight.
Yeah, and there was such an awesome OC that she looked at that and went, wow, I really want to make that. And what ended up coming out was this piece, and it's so cool. It's got so many different crazy colors going back and forth. The brushwork is very loose at points and tight at other points. The mane and the body are almost like cut out of the rest of the piece. Like you're seeing through it into the into the space behind it. There's so many interesting little things about it.
Something that I like about Aqua Galaxy is their style, especially with like lines, because they tend to stand out a lot from the background and from other lines around. Like if you look at their other pieces, like the brushwork, especially, you can see like the very distinct colors and distinct lines in the brushwork, and you can kind of see that in the outline of the OC here, because it really makes them pop.
Yeah, I think that's really key to Aqua Galaxy's style, is just really extremely kind of like bright, smack you in the face colors with almost everything in Aqua Galaxy's gallery. There's some kind of variant of that, of just really bright, really saturated colors.
Yeah, I like how flowy the mane is, and
It's
how
almost
there's
wispy
like
in a way, you know? Like
there's like these particles coming off of it almost, and
I just love the effect that you get when the depth that this piece gives. It makes everything, like the main blue background and the bit of orange and everything like that, it makes it feel like that's at the front, and then the tail is like a window into the background. And I just think that's the coolest thing, almost like the mane and the tail is cutting through reality and letting you see an alternative reality. You know, it doesn't make any realistic sense, but it really plays with the way that you see depth in these pieces.
yeah, Yeah, and we've seen pieces like that before, especially like Luna pieces where the main will basically cut away from the atmosphere and kind of look into the night or the starriness. And what's interesting in this piece is it almost looks like you're cutting into some sort of view of a nebula or the sun or something like that in space. So you're cutting right through the blue skies into space, and you see both the dark side of space kind of transitioning up to like this ball of gas that's burning in the sky. Yeah.
It's a really cool OC, I think, as well. Aqua Galaxy's taken some artistic liberties with the OC, but I don't know. It just looks really, really interesting to me, and it doesn't look terribly over-designed. It looks like it's got one big thing in that it's see-through space pony.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's not like crazily over-designed or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Burned, you love the brushwork in this piece too. It's just so loose. It's like the piece was made with this ethereal mane and the regular pony, and then it was like, well, what do I do for the background and the foreground? Blah, 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 with the brushes.
Yeah.
All right, well, I was just rejected by Burned. I'm gonna go and cry in the corner now.
Oh, don't forget
And,
your cookie dough ice cream.
Thank you. It's necessary.
Yeah.
One thing I would like to say about this piece, Aqua Galaxy, please make it like 3 times bigger.
Yes.
I do have to mention that because, a lot of artists don't put up their stuff for download, which, okay, fine. I can see the reason why. I don't really agree with it, but you know what? Fair game. But it's just, it's not big enough either. Like I'm sure people will be able to notice this, but we kind of have to stretch it to put on the screen for you guys. So it's just unfortunate because I think this is a really awesome art piece, and to see it in its kind of full glory would be amazing.
It honestly, it really detracts from the artwork, and it makes it worse than what it could be. Like,
Yeah.
I'm putting that extremely
It really
bluntly, but it's true. Like, it has a potential to be something that you could really visually enjoy, and you can see, and you can really take in, but instead it's left a small thumbnail on my monitor, and it's, a lot of times it can be really upsetting. And there's actually some good, really awesome artwork in Aqua Galaxy's gallery. That is a big, resolution, and it's beautiful. It's fabulous.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that this one was a bit smaller, but oh well, still good anyways.
Yeah, it might have been because it was part of a raffle thing or something. I don't know. But
yeah, I don't know. Anyways, that was all I really wanted to talk about. I just think it's a very interesting, different looking piece.
I know we have a couple of Aqua Galaxy pieces that we would like to feature in the future, so I'm sure.
And fun fact, didn't know this until today. She's actually Canadian. So that's cool.
Yeah, I was going to make a joke about
You
it.
can talk about hockey and stuff.
Canada shout out. Heyo. I don't think she watches the podcast, which is unfortunate, but whatever. Shout out to you being Canadian anyways.
Watch our podcast.
Love me.
All right. So,
I think the.
shall we move on to questions?
Yeah.
I'm assuming nobody else has
Anybody
anything
else want to talk about anything else?
How was your day?
It's only just started
time.
because it's like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Questions time.
Question time.
Relax. Calm.
Were you like Kamehameha? Like,
What? Okay. First
all right,
question I've got
Dragon
here
Ball Z
is...
joke whenever everyone's head. Great. I'm so glad. Go with the questions.
you interrupted me.
All right, sounds
First
good.
question
How's your day
is,
going?
what is favorite pony ship and why? From Anonymous.
Was that the first question?
It's an anonymous. Yeah.
I just feel like we've gotten that question before. Like it's in our question section, so obviously we didn't answer it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I think we're
But I
going to
don't
be
remember
talking...
anyone else's answer, so...
I think we're going to be talking a lot about this in one of our upcoming episodes when we feature a certain artist on who
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
has a
That's good point.
Tumblr with best pony ship in it.
Right. Okay, well, let me get mine out of the way. Soren Dash, there you go. I mean, I've said it 80 billion times. Cool. Yay. Next.
Does it count if I say Silver Shock?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's me and Silver
I hate you for it, but it does.
It's adorable.
All right, now give us another one. Give us another one.
Give us a canon one.
Pinkie Pie Rainbow Dash.
Cool.
Yay.
It was what your old name was named
Yeah.
after.
Yeah. Wait.
My little
I
Pinkie
guess you should have
Dash.
seen that coming.
Cloud Chaser and anyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, we wanted more from you. Now we want less.
Snowflake and Fluttershy.
That actually is a good pairing. I like it.
Next.
Okay. Well, mine is obviously Rarajack.
Cool.
Yeah.
Maybe
Sweetie
biased
Belle
from
and
some
Spike.
tumblers.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Tumblr. Certain White Diamonds. LTD.
Wow, you're really good at keeping secrets.
Yeah.
Burned. Tell me about your ships.
And how they
am I
sail.
allowed to pick myself an Agamemnon? Sorry.
No, because that's not canon.
Well, you can pick it, but then you also have to pick a canon one.
Okay. Oh god.
I can't name enough cannons to make a ship. Howitzer and something, I guess.
Recently I've seen a lot of really good pieces with Twilight and Rainbow Dash. I don't really. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm
Rainbow
biased by
Sparkle.
art.
Rainbow Sparkles is a good
I
ship
don't remember what I said
Twy
last
Dash,
time.
you heathens.
Rainbow
I
Sparkle.
remember what I said last time this question came up. I actually like this question because it's like our opinions could have changed on things. You know what I mean?
That's true. Except if you're boring like me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess
God, you're so boring.
I'm boring too because like I don't really think about it. I kind of I really like
It's
to see
true.
what people do with art of like shipping characters together, and it's all really adorable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's not about the ship usually, it's more about like the art.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
the way that they choose to interpret like there's a lot of art pieces out there that like say like ship like Lyra and Bonbon that like could be a different couple, and it's all more about like the emotion that they put into the piece and things like that.
I think that's actually what I picked last time was Lyra.
I like
and
Lyra and
Bonbon, wasn't it?
It's the safe pick.
I'm gonna-
Everybody likes Lyra Bonbon.
I'm gonna say that's probably the most canon ship at this point. Besides like the
And it's
Big-
definitely the safest one.
and
I mean,
you haven't
everybody
even
likes
seen
Lyra Bonbon.
you haven't even seen Rainbow Rocks.
Did you guys see that the
Yeah,
comic
yeah.
by it was the comic by Captain Pudge Muffin of Twilight and Rainbow Dash. Did you guys see that?
Yes.
Oh my god, I'm gonna link it.
Captain Pudge Muffin.
If my
It's gonna be
internet
a
would
weird thing
speed
to
up.
Google.
Great name, by
would-
the way.
I'm trying to go grab it for you. My internet is comics.
Your
That
internet
was
is
an
fart.
interesting first piece to see. All
There
right,
you go. Enjoy that.
Captain.
Oh, the Princess of
Pudge
Moon.
Muffin.
Oh, yes, that is
Oh
perfect.
yeah, I did see that. That was
do love
made like
one.
really really recently, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like yesterday.
Isn't that
Yeah, that was really
fabulous
funny.
though?
It's so good. That
No,
tail
Burn.
is so
You're
stiff.
fabulous.
Like that's what's swaying my my opinion on best ship recently. It's just basically Twilight anything. It's Twilight and Rainbow
Yeah.
Dash. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
I think Twidash has the most dedicated artists that produce like shipping.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know the most. I know like there's so many artists out there that I know that just love it and keep producing it like more than any other ship that I know.
They're so cute
Cute.
together. Yeah.
Cute,
Hold me, heart.
so cute. All right, let's move on, please. The cuteness.
Aw.
No. Oh, the next question then?
Yeah.
All right. So next question is: if you were to be in a troupe with extraordinary skills, for example, the Wonderbolts or Harlem Globetrotters, what troupe would it be? By Linda Dash.
It's a good question.
Excuse me?
I already came up with an answer for this. I would be a part of the world famous Cutie Art Crusaders. I hear that they are doesn't afraid of anything.
They are doesn't
and
afraid of
arts
it.
a lot.
Hmm.
So that's my answer.
Did you hear that they have an opening
What?
for you?
Am I fired?
You're fired and rehired.
Welcome back.
Congratulations.
Hey.
The punishment is you have to edit every single week. No.
Is that your final answer?
I can't. I mean,
Like, are you
sure.
dedicated to that? I
Yep.
mean,
I made that joke. Now no one else can.
Does money count as an extraordinary skill?
Money.
what kind of
I
troupe
mean,
has
if you're Batman,
Thunderbirds.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
you could be part of the Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
Team America.
I'm gonna
Is
go
it too Canadian if I say a hockey team?
and your extraordinary skill is hockey?
The
That
All-Star
works. I
team.
mean,
Yeah.
Harlem
work.
Globetrotters. It's a basketball team. I'll take it.
Yeah, but they're a
Burns,
little bit more
what
than a
about you?
basketball team.
Me?
What about you?
They're space mathematicians.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Can
ooh, the team from Space Jam.
Oh yeah.
the
What are
like the
those
monster
called?
team?
No, the other one.
The other
good
one?
The Monstars.
The one with Michael Jordan on it.
Yeah. I can't remember what they called themselves. It was,
We're awful people for not remembering this.
I remember
I would-
the aliens. They were the Monstars.
Come on and slam.
I would be on the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen because I'm an extraordinary
yes.
gentleman.
Okay.
How about that?
I could just see you being there twirling your mustache and looking all dapper, and you'd be like Dapper Man or something.
Would
Quite
you be Rorschach
appropriate.
because nobody wants to see your face?
Wow.
You know what?
Just straight deep, just right, aim, fire. Wow.
Ugh.
Do you know a fun fact? That when Rorschach made the space guy basically kill him and explode himself, his blood pattern was in the symbol of his mask.
Wow.
I just thought I'd share
So-
that trivia with you.
Interesting.
Topic change. The team from Space Jam was called the Toon Squad.
That's the one.
Oh, yeah.
I knew that.
Toon Squad. So I'd be a part of the Toon Squad.
Also, go visit the website. It hasn't changed since the 90s.
Yep.
It's true. It's a relic.
You guys want to watch it after we finish recording?
No. You can't get out of this, Ted. You got to come up with a team.
Okay, I was gonna say Monty Python,
Ooh.
because they're awesome and hilarious and funny.
What's
But
their
then I was gonna
extraordinary
say-
skill?
I was gonna say the Mighty Boosh because they're also funny.
I don't know. I didn't get that reference. You lost me there.
I don't know what
Mighty
that is.
Boosh.
You should have stopped while you were ahead with the Monty Python.
I don't think
Yeah.
I was born then.
What about the Mighty Ducks?
It's a hockey team.
Mighty Boosh is a more modern version of the Monty Python guys.
Okay, interesting.
Are
They
they American?
like,
Are they American?
No, they're British. Have you ever seen Old Greg or
No.
heard any references to Old Greg?
No. Okay,
No.
well, sorry, I'm cutting
Okay,
this off.
anyhow.
No, we're not going to talk about obscure references here.
Yeah,
We're done. We're done.
Yeah, either of
No,
those.
that's no. Why are you still thinking? You gave your answer. We don't all have to give 3 answers.
But I want to.
Like I know Joel did for the shipping, and I know I did for this one, but we don't all have to.
Okay.
I
there
just
you
ship
go.
every pony.
I'm gonna stick with Monty Python because their stuff's funny.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Ooh, wait.
What?
On the first question, I also ship Rarity and then like adult, more grown-up Spike, like Big Dragon Spike.
No. Spike and
Because
Sweetie
he's
Belle.
become a man.
Spike and Sweetie Belle is
No, it's
the
a
best
terrible ship, and you should feel ashamed.
I don't like kid ships. Am I the only one? Like kid
Yeah, you're
ships
the
are like
one.
eh, to me.
Yeah, it's weird and forced.
Yeah, I agree. It's weird and forced.
Scootaloo and Apple Bloom forever.
Apple Lou,
Scootaloo and a Scooter.
Scooter Bloom. I don't know. Yeah.
I ship
Also, shipping names suck always.
I ship UPS and FedEx together.
No, you know what? How I judge ships? A ship is better if its name is better. Like a ship is judged based on the quality of its name.
What about Electro
about
Rain?
Like the HMS Her Majesty ship something, I don't know.
While I was in Sydney for SalvageCon, there was a ferry there called the Friendship.
Wow.
Not even joking. Took a photo.
Well, let's ride this friendship right out of the question section and into the plugs.
Okay. So we have a DeviantArt. It is friendship.deviantart.com. That's wrong. It's cuteartcrusaders.deviantart.com. We have a YouTube, which is youtube.com/cuteartcrusaders. We have a email address, which is cuteartcrusaders@gmail.com. We have a Twitter, which is @cuteartcrusader, and Facebook. We're on the Facebook, which are Cutie Art Crusaders on the Facebook. We're at Tumblr, which is cuteartcrusaders.tumblr.com, and I believe that's just about it.
And you
Hooray.
can find us on Match.com and on Craigslist.
I'm going to be honest, I actually wasn't listening. I kind of tuned it out, so I'm just going to assume you did a good job.
I did a
because it's
great
safe to
job.
assume.
It was a
Yeah.
fabulous job.
He was
job.
like
Except
spot
for Ted,
on.
you should be ashamed.
Did we mention the Match.com thing?
Yes.
Yeah, I mentioned
I'm glad.
that.
'Cause
Damn
we're
it.
really trying to push that.
Yeah.
We're actually friendship.
By the way, it's a package deal.
We're also on Tinder, so
Oh no, someone's going to put us on
Swipe your favorite Crusader.
Tinder. Oh, always swipe yes for burned.
Howard, swipe.
What a man.
Breaks the app. All right, so that is everything for this episode, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it just as much as we did. Find us on Tinder, on Match.com, and on all the other unimportant things. Whether or not you're on the live stream or on YouTube, we love you all the same. My name is Rainbow Plasma.
My name's Burn.
I'm Flutterguy317.
I'm at Moss Park.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Boy.
Bye.
Boy.
This episode was made with fair use.
What?